Hey guys, today I'm going to be playing through the first 15 minutes of the newly released game called Neversong from an indie developer that I've been following for a while now, named Thomas Brush. He's been working on this for a few years, so I thought I'd check it out and give my views from the perspective of an aspiring developer. So let's get started and watch the intro together.
Once upon a time, there was a boy, an orphan without a single toy. His name was Pete. His world was grey, until he found a friend one day. It was no normal friend he'd found. She was but the prettiest girl in town. From that day on, the summer bore adventures every single morn. Her name was Wren, so young and gay. She even had a small piano she'd play. From sharps and flats to middle C, she taught Pete to play and read. But on one fateful evening they went looking for some place to play. Pete and Wren stumbled through a door onto an abandoned asylum floor, and from the shadows a face of white snatched poor Wren out of sight. Pete was not like Wren at all. He was timid, scared, and small, and this was his last farewell, for Pete into a coma fell.
So immediately I'm loving the sound effects and that slight echo that they have, which I think leads me to believe that we're in a dream. I like the way that the basic mechanics of the elevators are shown on the wall. And it looks like the doors with the letters above them are clearly our first puzzle. And from what I played of the game so far, there are a lot of these kind of puzzle elements to it. And I think I was expecting more of a pure platformer experience, but it's definitely a lot more kind of puzzle related. And this is the clue to the first puzzle. I love the way that as he's dropped through, he's ended up where he started. The clock is going backwards and things seem to be getting a little bit more crazy. So there's that creepy guy in the window with the knife. These things that have shown up on the floor that I can bounce on. Kind of wondering who that is. Is it Wren? The other thing that I really like is this kind of fog that you can see, sort of clouding everything around us. That's a great visual effect. what a cool way to introduce your game. I'm having fun so far. Okay, so I guess we're done with level 1, and we've just woken up on top of a piano. And this is a really cool mechanism that's going to be used to unlock stuff as we go through the game. We'll see an example of that coming up shortly. But I guess if you're bored, you could also just chill out here and hammer out some tunes. That fireplace looks familiar, and this is going to be the checkpoint mechanism throughout the world that we can use to save our game. So let's go ahead and do that now. And this picture looks like a picture of Pete and Ren, and it's dated 1952. Looks like Pete is a bit smaller or younger in that picture, so maybe that places us at around late 1950s, early 60s in terms of game time. I like that the objects in the world are interactable. The jars break, and the grass moves and makes it all feel a lot more alive and less static. Let's go and explore outside. So Thomas is a pretty talented guy in that I believe he does the music and the artwork for his games, and I know that he can do a lot of the coding as well from following his YouTube videos. Even though on this game he's had some help. Neversong is also made in Unity, which is the engine that I'm learning and using at the moment. And while I've seen a lot of garbage come from Unity projects, Neversong really looks nice and feels very polished so far. Looks like we found our first NPC, and I really recommend engaging with everyone that you find along the way. They've got a lot to add to the backstory, and I just find the dialogue to be really good and entertaining. So when you find them, when you see them,
1002,
have a chat.
1003,
And that's what I'm going to do right now.
Another interruption. I'm in the middle of jumping to 1 billion, Pete. I told myself I need to jump to 1,550,000,000. It will make me feel amazing. Same reason growing my hair out to 1.73 meters will make me feel like a god. My therapist asked me the same stupid questions. Mind your own business, dude. So, can I help you? Considering you're the reason everyone's parents have been missing all summer, I'd keep questions like that on the down low. I mean, you fainted in terror as Ren was kidnapped, so the grown-ups went to Black Fork Asylum to try and find her. They haven't been back since. It's all right, buddy. Just be careful asking stupid questions. I, for one, am about to head out to look for my dad because of you. After I finish counting, of course.
The thing I really like about talking to characters is how simple that implementation seems to be. There isn't any change in animation or facial animation. We just have a portrait picture which scales up and down slightly, and that's perfect because of how the dialogue flows and how on point all of the voice acting is. It's really good voice acting. Okay, so we've just found a tune, and naturally I think we can assume that this is something we have to go and play on that piano that we woke up on. It looks like the game has a songbook, so we can store all of these tunes, which is pretty handy because I would definitely forget it, no matter how short it is. And I don't feel like having to write it down. So we'll finish exploring this area and then head back and play it.
Pete, you're finally awake. My heart is full. I was about to adventure out to the Spiderian sewer to look for the grown-ups. I'll admit, my tummy is filled with little butterflies. That coma must have given you a serious case of retrograde amnesia. The Spiderian sewer was our favorite spot last summer. Me, you, Ren? Everyone! Anyways, I think a grown-up might be down there. I heard screaming. Golly, you don't want to know what I think, my curious friend. If you must know, it is my belief that, that your girlfriend is likely dead. Oh, my heart skips a beat just thinking the dreadful thought. Her epilepsy hasn't been great lately, Pete. Without her medication, I'm not sure how long she'll last. I'd help you find her, but I gotta go check out the Spiderian sewer first.
Okay, so it sounds like we're going to be heading off to some place called the Spiderian Sewer soon. But first, let's head back to the house and see what Piano has in store for us. So case in point, I'm trying to play the piano tune from memory and it's just not working for me. One small criticism here is that it wasn't very clear how I was supposed to access the songbook to play the tune, but it didn't take very long for me to figure it out. And now that I've picked up the baseball bat, we can go and beat up more of the environment, including the grass. Interestingly, I believe that most, if not all, of the graphics in this game were made using Adobe Photoshop, which isn't free, but also isn't too expensive. And Thomas has some videos on his channel where he goes through the process of how he did that. And I know he also uses a little tool called Spine to get a lot of the character animations in place. So check those out if you guys are interested in creating something similar. We're gonna end the video about here. Overall, I'm having a lot of fun with Neversong and looking forward to continuing my adventure. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing for more of this kind of content. And also make sure you check out Thomas's channel. I'll put the link in the description. And seriously consider picking up your own copy of Neversong on Steam. The link will also be in the description. It's totally worth it and just a fantastic example of what can be achieved with the right focus and effort. Alright guys, until next time.